Today I get to start work on my electrical for the boat. I'm finally building something on the boat and I've come to really enjoy doing electrical. I just bought some things and am on my way back to the boat, and we're gonna dive into it. I'm super excited. I've officially also made it down here with the van, so the boat and the van are now together. The plan is to be based down here in the van, working on the boat for the next pretty good period of time at least. Which is pretty exciting. I'm happy to be here and is happy to start really cranking along on the boat. It's been a couple times I've been here since the first video. I have a lot of electrical related boxes in here now, but we're looking relatively clean and I think relatively ready to get going. Up until this point, I was flying back and forth in between Colorado and California, just trying to get as much work done as I could. I was staying at a friend's house, biking to the boat, working all day, and then biking back, trying to film some. Here's me building the battery box. I also did quite a bit more cleaning and wire organization and just general figuring out the boat a little bit more and understanding what my process is going to be as I continue to work on the boat to get it into the water. I've been going through a bunch of the wiring here, jumping back and forth between this zone in the back and down in here. What I'm trying to do now is pull a lot of it apart, get an understanding of what's going on. So I'm going through all the wiring, trying to find some sort of rhyme or reason with the whole thing. It was wired in the 70s, and then some people added some stuff, some people pulled some stuff. I think it's only been a couple owners. Over the years, these things definitely kind of get more and more and more and more. Like the charge controller was up here, batteries were in one place, there's different batteries somewhere else. Everything was just kind of tacked on. For me, the main goal here is to centralize everything, get it so everything is clean and organized. Wires are kind of getting routed to where they need to go, but it's clear that they're going to where they need to go, and it's not tied in with a million other things going in a million other different directions. Essentially what my plan is here is to build the electrical panel on this wall. I want to mostly have it from just the fiberglass section there with the battery box right here. I have it relatively planned, but of course you can't really figure it out totally until you start going. We're gonna see if these fit. They're looking pretty good. I might make a few small adjustments. I'm going to paint and seal these up and then mount the electrical panel on top of this. So this is like the base for the rest of it. There is this helicopter just circling around right now. Terrible for audio. Dude, this thing is pretty crazy. I'm stoked to have gotten this. It's a little bit of an investment, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be a pretty awesome tool to be able to have. It's going to run all of my 120 volt, all my normal plugs in the boat. Also, it's my charger, so if I plug into a marina, it's pretty capable to be able to charge up my batteries. Okay, I'm just working on the electrical panel here. Obviously it's not completely perfect, but this is pretty much what I want it to look like. I have the inverter, the charger, the fuse block for the 12 volt stuff. This is gonna be the two switches for my solar panels, and then the whole just like main power cutoff. My charge controller. These are my circuit breakers. I have one that will connect to the battery, and then I'll have one that connects to the solar panels. If there's an over voltage or whatever, it can pop so it doesn't burn out any of the charge controllers or start a fire, hopefully. And these are just my bus bars, so I can kind of access everything from here versus having all the wires go all the way back to the batteries. Hopefully it's obvious I'm not going to build the electrical panel on this bench here. I guess this is more of my design studio. The plan is to put this electrical panel on the piece of plywood I have down on the van and then mount it on this wall. But a lot of the wiring is going to go on the back side of the panel, so I can hopefully keep it cleaner on this side and it just looks more clean and more professional. Ideally. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so I finalized the size of the electrical panel and I'm ready to make some cuts, but I realized I left my batteries charging at a friend's house last night, so I need to go run and grab that and do all of that now. But that's a perfect segue actually for why I'm doing this project first. There are other more important things, like there are some leaks in this, like the windows, just other sailboat related things. That's my number one priority, is get the sailboat working as a sailboat. This project I'm going to do first, just so I can kind of get the boat alive and be able to use it as essentially a tool to then work on everything else. Charge my batteries, charge my camera batteries. They're all dead except for this one. And I do have the van, but if I can keep all the electrical, all the batteries charging, everything in here, and then be able to go home into the van, it's a little bit of a dance right now. This situation perfectly explains why I'm focusing on this project as like the very first thing I'm doing. From that point forward, I'm going to start working on more like priority things and work down that. All right. We got the batteries. We can start cutting, keep moving on with the project here. Sweet, I think this will be our electrical panel. Hopefully it fits. I'm gonna maybe have to make a couple adjustments. I have the jigsaw here just in case, but let's bring it up and see if it fits in the spot. Okay, this is a bit of a moment of truth. I'm hoping this fits. It's not exactly square. There's some weird angles to things since it is a fiberglass boat interior. It seems like that's how it goes, especially when it's 50 years old. So yeah, let's see if it fits. We're looking pretty good. There's a little bit on this top edge I need to trim. I decided to just cut a lot of that out. I was running up and down with this piece of wood, just trimming a little bit off of either end. Like this back left side was a little bit taller, the front right side was a little bit lower, so you had to kind of cut weird angles on both sides. For the most part, this is what I want. I think that it's getting closer to the time of being able to sand it and prime it and then paint it and start building the panel on it. So we are definitely making some progress, which feels good. All right, my hands are relatively clean, so I can finally pick up the camera again. I got this all primed here. I used this stuff. Maybe there's somebody in the comments right now just screaming at their screen, but I heard some good things about this. I did some research. Some people told me that this would be pretty good for sealing it up. My main thing, obviously, with wood in the boat is having it rot, or even if there's just black mold growing on it or whatever. I'd appreciate any sort of insight on that. By the time you see it, this might be a little bit too late, but either way, learning is what I want to do here. So just wrench this thing down. Now it is holding so solid. It's gonna hopefully stay here forever now. All right, the day is getting near the end here. Got pretty far. The two mounts are in. This panel obviously is painted and stuff, but it's not on. I'm just kind of measuring things up. But it fits, it's painted, it's sealed. I've been hanging out in the van this morning, drawing out the drill holes and the spots I want to cut out for the electrical panel here. I think I'm getting it to a spot where I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm about at a spot where I'm going to start cutting. Sweet, I got the panel all cut out here. I have all the holes ready. My next step is to use this stuff and paint all of the spots that are no longer sealed. I'm also just gonna do a layer over the whole thing again to make it super sealed ideally. And then I think we're ready to start installing things onto the panel. Next up, I'm gonna start working on getting everything bolted on there. I'm a little bit concerned about this inverter. It's pretty heavy, and honestly this wood is not super thick. It's a little bit precarious for that much weight, so we'll see. Hopefully it doesn't break. At this point, we're just doing a lot of technical cutting and crimping and wiring things through. It takes a lot of time to be able to add one wire, and it's slow going, but we're slowly getting there. It's the next day, we're working on the panel again. I am going to make the claim that we're going to get this thing done today. I have a few more wires to wire through, and then pretty much it's mounting it on the wall. There's definitely some complications that could come up, but I'm ready to have it on the wall and move on to the next step. So making the claim, hoping it happens. So let's dive right into it. A little update on what's going on here. We are absolutely getting there for sure. So this switch is now completely in. I have the wires connecting from here to there to there to here. That is the connection point for the positive line for the solar. This is the negative line for the solar. I need to fit this 0 gauge wire down from this one to this switch, and then from this switch to the positive line. So once I get this positive line in on both sides of the switch for the battery, this big wire, which is a little bit more complicated, I should be able to pretty much be ready to mount it. That sounds maybe a little bit more simple than it actually is going to be. I think I'm going to kind of have to go to war with this thing. Just moving these wires is not super easy. I am super happy with how this is all coming together. Looking forward to being able to throw it on the wall pretty soon here. Okay, so my issue is I want to fit this plus another one of these for either end of the switch here. They have to fit sideways like this, and there's no way that it's going to fit like that. So I need to, I think, expand out the hole a little bit and see if we can go from there. Okay, this has been a little bit of a challenge for sure. We got this, I think, in. I'm gonna bolt it down and I'm gonna look on the back and just make sure everything is looking pretty good. Again, this is to connect the main power cutoff, so it's kind of an important one. All right, I think that might be it. Okay, the panel's looking just about done. I'm pretty stoked. I threw the ladder back in here just to see how everything looks, and I'm pretty stoked. I feel like it's perfect back there. I have the battery box back there, and then eventually I want to put a wall right here, and then a quarter berth here, and then maybe some storage of like things right here. It works out pretty well. I'm pretty stoked on how this is looking. Obviously there's now everything to actually connect the batteries, connect the solar, add all the fuses and all the lines that go to the fuses. While we're here, I'd like to express my gratitude to anybody who's stuck around and still watching. I appreciate it. This is definitely something I am trying to figure out, both on the sailboat side, but also very much on the video side. As I go through this experience that I'm really excited about individually, being able to share it is something I am, trying to figure out. I think it takes essentially just doing it a bunch. Eventually I'll get better at it. A little bit rough potentially at the moment, and I'm trying to figure out the pacing, what is interesting, all these things, but I am to try to make these videos as good as I can and take everybody along on this journey with me. So I appreciate you guys watching again, and I'll see you guys for the next one.